time for our 360 round. Joining me now is Ron Westfall, VP of Networking and Infrastructure at Hyperframe Research, and Evan Feagans, Portfolio Manager at TCW. Evan, Microsoft, the topic of discussion, big name player within this AI innovation. What did you make of the year that was in 2025 for all things Microsoft?
Yeah, I think 2025 was really defined by the fraying relationship with OpenAI. They were contributing a lot to growth, but everyone views it as unsustainable. They saw that OpenAI wanted to distance themselves from Microsoft, and people weren't able to underwrite the business with confidence. So I think now going into 2026, we actually have more confidence. We got that deal in October, and we can start to look for other sources of growth in AI. And then continue that growth trajectory.
Ron, you, like many, see Microsoft as sort of the center of this enterprise AI super cycle. As we head into 2026, what's the setup? What's your outlook for the company financially as we turn the page on the year?
I think fundamentally that is correct. Microsoft is looking at a very robust 2026 overall. In fact, I concur that the fiscal 26 revenue projections of around $327 billion will be achieved. And that is, again, supported by that multi-year $250 billion deal with OpenAI, even factoring in the fact that OpenAI has become more diversified in terms of its partnerships and so forth. And what's really driving this is the fact that Azure, its cloud platform, is looking at maintaining growth of nearly 40% in 2026. And so this can actually be a contributing factor toward Microsoft achieving the $5 trillion market cap plateau in 26. And I think these will also be reinforced by the fact that over 90% of the Fortune 500 using the Copilot capabilities as part of their overall Microsoft enterprise platform. And so that's going to give Microsoft, I think, a strong competitive advantage in countering the moves by competitors like Google to expand its workspace and Gemini capabilities, as well as being able to maintain the margins necessary to sustain the CapEx, which it will hit a record $125 billion in 26. So all this is pointing toward Microsoft having a successful 2026.
And is it still, if you're trying to assess metrics, you're looking at the earnings, does it still begin and end then, Ron, with the Azure growth rate as it has it seemingly for the last couple of years?
That will be a major contributor. And yes, there are other factors that are going to enable Microsoft to maintain these financial milestones. The fact is that they are effectively countering Oracle and SAP when it comes to enterprise software. So their ERP business is going to be solid, as well as the fact that they are able to maintain, I would say, a competitive, advantageous position throughout the enterprises. And so this is the reason that's going to underscore their ability to take advantage of this AI enterprise supercycle, because many enterprises are going to be moving on from kicking the tires and doing pilot projects and monetizing their enterprise AI implementations. And so all this is going to contribute in addition to the Azure cloud revenue stream.
Evan, as a portfolio manager, you're making the tough decisions on where companies like Microsoft can fit in a portfolio. I imagine it fits in there, but how do you approach it relative maybe to your peers and where you guys are seeing Microsoft as a member of any portfolios you guys are structuring?
Yeah, we own it in our AI thematic portfolio, AIFD. I think it is, as Ron mentioned, has a very strong position in the corporate AI adoption. And really, I think that is the key. Corporate adoption has lagged thus far in AI, and I think it's the next leg of growth. And Microsoft, if you looked at their Ignite conference last month, they really have the strategy in place to unlock AI spend. They're not necessarily focused at the model layer. They're focused on what they call the scaffolding, the permissioning, the security, the agent orchestration layer, and really unlock company data and make AI useful for more companies. So I think they're really in a place to drive widespread AI adoption going into this year.
Ron, real quick, coming back to the Copilot discussion, how important is it not only for Microsoft, but really all of these AI software makers that a company like Microsoft is able to use their Copilot system as sort of a pilot, no pun intended, for so many of these big companies that move a little bit slower to kind of dip their toes in AI?
It's going to be a major factor. It's going to impact the entire competitive landscape when it comes to enterprise AI. And it's not just, the co-pilot capabilities, using generative AI to enhance, say, productivity and streamline workflows and so forth. It's also about transitioning to agentic AI. And this is where I see Microsoft having, again, an edge in terms of being able to use Copilot to transition these enterprise customers to use what is characterized as agent mode. That is using Copilot simply more than as a chatbot, but to also use it as an autonomous worker that can execute many intricate business workflows. And so this is going to be a major pivot in 26. And this is where Microsoft can not only strengthen its competitive position, but use Copilot to, again, expand its influence and revenue streams across the enterprise AI realm.
Ron Westfall, Evan Feagans, I appreciate both of you guys taking the time here on New Year's Eve. I wish you guys a happy new year, and we'll catch up soon.